What's up, sports bettors? Early bird gets the worm. NBA playoffs. I got some early bets for Saturday. Lots of value out there, lots of games, NHL, NBA, MLB. Let's get into it.
So let's dive in. So my first bet is a baseball bet. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, we have the NBA playoffs tomorrow. Lakers, Warriors, game 3. Why don't you have a bet on that as your first bet? And I explain this in every video, but when I wake up to bet on sports, I'm looking for profitable bets. I don't care if I'm betting on the NHL, tennis. When I'm betting on sports, I'm trying to make money. And the top profit margin play on OddsJam is a play on Fliff, right? So Fliff is an 18 plus sports book. I'm currently in California. And Fliff is a sports book that, unlike DraftKings, unlike FanDuel, it's available basically everywhere in the country. And I've been able to find a lot of profitable bets on it. So what you're going to notice is Marlins plus 160 is a bet with a profit margin of 1.73%. So under this percent column, this is your profit margin. It's also known as your edge in sports betting. So your edge, your profit margin, however you want to think about it. And basically, what's crazy about sports betting, I mean, if you don't understand this, this is what boggles my mind and got me into sports betting to start with, is two things. One, every sports book sets lines independently, right? So this is actually really fascinating. If you think about the price of a stock, if you go on E-Trade and then Fidelity, you're going to see the same price for Facebook stock, right? Like there's not different prices on every different platform you can trade stocks because it doesn't make any sense. But what you're going to notice in sports betting is for the exact same bet, there's vastly different odds, right? So you're going to see tomorrow, the Marlins money line, it's plus 140 on DraftKings. It's plus 160 on Fliff. The average line is plus 147. It's only plus 145 on Cut, plus 145 on Ballybet. So long story short, you have all these data points. Every sports book is a data point telling you where the line should be set. PointsBet has the Marlins at plus 130. Pinnacle, which is known to be the sharpest sports book in the world, they're all the way down at plus 151, and they have a pretty tight market, right? There's only a 14-cent spread in this market. So long story short, you look throughout the market and it becomes pretty clear that plus 160 on Fliff is pretty crazy value. So this is a sharp bet to go with. So that's the first thing that made me really love sports betting is all these books, they all set lines independently, which means as a sharp bettor, we have dozens of data points, right, telling us where a line should be set, and then we're just hunting for value. And tomorrow, getting the Marlins at plus 160 is really clear value. So this is the first bet I went with. Now, the second thing I want to explain that's really interesting and important about sports betting is your returns are daily, right? So this game is going to be over in about, 15 hours. So long story short, like people talk about, oh, in the stock market, you can get 8% a year, 10% a year. In sports betting, this game's tomorrow. We're getting 1.73% in a day, right? That's why sports betting is powerful because these returns compound so quickly. When you're betting on the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, sometimes it's different in like football or golf, but in general, you're betting on games that are that day. So if you think about it, if you could even get, let's say, just a 1% profit margin betting on the MLB, there's 162 games in the regular season. So 1% a day over the course of a season, if you could get a 1% profit margin on all your bets, would be an 162% ROI. Right? This is why you can make a lot of money sports betting. Sports betting is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You'll never see me promoting, oh, this parlay is going to make you a millionaire overnight. I don't do any of that BS. The purpose of these videos is I just show you, what I'm putting my own personal money on. Maybe you don't believe in math, you don't believe in any of the stuff, whatever. But the point is I'm just showing you what I'm putting my own money on. Sometimes I find value in the MLB. Sometimes it's more in the NBA. Sometimes I find more value on Fliff. Sometimes it's more on DraftKings. It depends, right? All these sports books set lines independently, so you never know which book is going to have value, is going to have profitable bets on a given day. And you can see early MLB lines, the values on Fliff, getting the Marlins at plus 160 is pretty crazy value. The average line is plus 147, right? So what is important to remember is also how sportsbooks make money. So I speak to a lot of sports bettors. People will email me, whatever, and they don't even understand how sportsbooks make money, right? The way that sportsbooks make money is they charge a spread, right? They charge a VIG. It's called the VIG in sports betting. Sportsbooks charge a spread. So you think about the way a stockbroker works, or a car dealer, whatever, like a broker, is they'll say, hey, I think this stock is worth $10.50, so I'll buy it for $10. That's my bid, and I'll sell it for $11. I'll try to sell it. So that's what stockbrokers, right? That's all they do all day. They buy things for 10 and try to sell them for 11, making that $1 spread. So it's the same thing in sports betting, right? I go on to Fliff. When I place a bet, they don't charge me a fee. It's not like, oh, you want to bet on the Marlins? You want to place a bet on Fliff? You owe us $5. That's not how sportsbooks work, right? They make money by charging a spread. Fliff has a 20-cent spread. You can see Ballybet also has a 20-cent spread. Bet Online only a 13-cent spread. So long story short, all these books make money by charging a spread, but because all these sports books set lines independently, sometimes they get out of sync with each other. So you're going to see there's if you take the average odds, there's a 23-cent spread in this market. So what you can do is put this into a no vig odds calculator, right? So how this concept kind of works if you're new to sharp sports betting, and this is a common calculator, every sharp sports bettor should know how to use this calculator. It's really important. It's the most important calculator in sports betting, so you should really take time to understand it. But, let's say, for example, a stockbroker tells you, hey, I'll buy this stock for $10, I'll sell it for $11. Well, if they're buying it for 10, they think the stock is worth over $10. If they're selling it at 11, they think the stock is worth under $11. So the midpoint, $10.50, is what the fair price is. The true price of the stock is according to the stockbroker, right? It's just like if you go into a car dealer, they may buy your car for $10,000 and then they'll list it at $15,000, right? So you're selling them your car for $10,000, so they think it's worth more. And then they'll sell it for $15,000, so they think it's worth less. If they buy your car for $10,000, they sell it for $15,000. They probably thought your car was worth like $12,500, the midpoint. So it's the same thing in sports betting. What you can do is you can take sportsbook odds and just remove the spread, and that gets you the true value, right? What would the true line be without VIG? So you can see, based on the average odds, the true price for the Marlins is roughly plus 155. You're getting plus 160 on Fliff, so you're getting above, right? You're getting better odds, better value, however you want to think about it, than the true line. The true price is plus 155, the no vig odds, true odds, fair odds, a bunch of different terms for it, no vig, true, fair. You're getting plus 160 on Fliff. That's crazy value. That's a play you want to go with, right? You're getting better value. You're always getting better odds than the no vig odds. And this play has a 1.73% profit margin. Again, you earn a 1% ROI betting on the MLB. That's 162% over the course of the season. So many sports bettors, I hate baseball. I never bet on baseball. There's so many games. If you can just get a 1% ROI, that's 162% over the course of the season. So this is the first bet I went with. And then I explained this before, I'm not saying the Marlins are a lock. I hate that word. I hate that word that some people use in the sports betting industry. Nothing's a lock. These are all just plays with a mathematical edge, an advantage over the sportsbook. We're taking advantage of discrepancies in odds. So the second pick I ended up going with is right here. The Angels plus 1.5 at minus 175 odds. So I hit both these bets for $250. Here's the profit margin. So Angels bet has a 0.91% profit margin. And I know this isn't glorious. We're getting a 2.91% return, roughly 1% on $250 stake. So our bet has $228 in profit margin. This bet on the Marlins money line has $433 in profit margin, or edge, as it's called in sports betting. So my bets have a combined profit margin of like $650. So it took me 20 seconds to place these bets. Combined profit margin of $650. And why do we like this bet on the Angels? Do I know something? Do I know a coach? No. No BS here. We're just talking about data. All of OddsJam is just sportsbook odds. Everything is just data, right? So you're going to see here the average line is minus 200. FanDuel has this minus 205, DraftKings minus 210 with a 40-cent spread. So the midpoint would be around minus 190. So according to DraftKings, they have a 40-cent spread. The true line with the spread removed, with the VIG removed, would be about minus 190 on the Angels plus 1.5. We're getting better odds on Fliff. We're getting minus 175. Pinnacle has this minus 202, right? And they have a 34-cent spread. So if you remove the VIG from Pinnacle's market, right, they have a 34-cent spread. So it would be minus 185, right? That would be the midpoint. So on Fliff, you're getting better odds than the no VIG odds. So once again, this is a profitable bet. So I locked in both these bets. I'm sure there will be more bets, right? Lines are always moving. You can see and track line movements here. So you can see the Angels initially on DraftKings as well as other sportsbooks, their plus 1.5 run line when sportsbooks first opened odds for Saturday, they were at minus 170. But lines have been ripping towards the Angels. In Fliff, they're just asleep at the wheel, right? Fliff is just asleep at the wheel. They're still giving you minus 175 when DraftKings has moved all the way down from minus 170 to minus 210. Fliff is still giving you minus 175, so they're asleep at the wheel, still giving you value. So long story short, two bets, total profit margin about 650. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I'll show my bet slips here in a sec and explain some more concepts. But long story short, the point of these videos, I obviously want to give you guys profitable bets that you can tail, but it's also to kind of explain how to bet on sports. How can you become a sharp sports bettor? How can you make tens of thousands of dollars sports betting? How can you get an edge, right? And that's really the point why I do all these videos. So hopefully they're helpful.
So right here, you can see my plays on Fliff. I mean, the purpose of these videos is obviously educational, but I also like to show, hey, I put my money where my mouth is. I bet on what I say I'm going to bet on. So here are the two bets I hit. I think both are really profitable bets. Go check Fliff. See if you can tail them. And again, as always, sign up for more sportsbook accounts, right? You never know which book is going to have value on a given day. Sometimes there's a bunch of bets on Prize Picks. Sometimes it's FanDuel. Sometimes it's Fliff. So more sportsbooks is always better as a sharp sports bettor. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for your time.